Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of B2B Tips to Grow and Transform. And today we have a very special guest, Michael Kelly. Yeah, let Michael introduce himself first so you know who he is and what does he do. All right, Michael, here you go.
Great to be with you, Joanna. What I am is a leadership communication trainer. What does that mean? Well, many business people I see struggle to make an impact when delivering important messages. What I do is help those business people communicate their ideas and vision with confidence, energy, and certainty so they deliver influential messages, win more pitches, and grow thriving careers.
Wow, that's so important for business owner, isn't it? Because every business owner is their own leader.
Yes.
Yeah, and the leader for the team, leader for the clients, and yeah. So, what do you often see? Actually, because episode is about challenges, right? And the tips we were going to share. As a coach in this area, what kind of challenges do you normally see?
Yeah, I'm going to share three challenges. There are many, but these are big ones. And I should say, Joanna, and to your viewers, many of the ideas that I will share with you may seem too basic to be effective. They're very powerful when well executed. And I would say if you do the fundamentals really well, you'll separate yourself from a sea of talking heads. And there's a lot of people that just make a lot of noise when they speak, but no one remembers what they've said. Okay, so the three takeaways are these. Number one, maximize the number of positive impressions you leave. Number two, you need to have simplicity and structure in message delivery. And three, project energy and certainty. So what I see is people need to improve in those three areas. I'll say them again because they're important. Number one, maximize the number of positive impressions you leave. Number two, have simplicity and structure and message delivery. And three, project energy and certainty. So what I thought I would do, if you're happy with it, is give you a technique for each of those challenges that your viewers can use. So let's start with the first one. Maximize the number of positive impressions you leave. Because that's, it's through your facial expression. People first know you by your facial expression. You've got a great facial expression. It's very warm. But sometimes under pressure, people are unaware of what their face is signaling, particularly with leaders. And a lot of people are looking at leaders. We sometimes underestimate that just a split-second glance of a person's face tells us their gender, race, age, mood, direction of attention, all at once. Some of the most informative stimuli we ever perceive. So whenever you enter a room, a virtual room or a face-to-face room, make sure your face is radiating warmth and acceptance and calm enthusiasm. When we radiate warmth and acceptance, conversations just seem to flow. When you enter a room,
Yeah, question. What if that day they had a really bad day and then not ready yet? What do you do?
Well, it's not about you, it's about the audience. I mean, if you're a leader and you're a business leader, you've got to manage what this is signaling. And I'm not being cheesy like, everything's happy, happy. But I think you've got to enter, because they look at you, and some bosses, they look like depressed. They're not even aware of it. So we underestimate. I mean, you may have difficulties, and I'm not saying smile when there's something difficult going on, but entry, Joanna, entry to a room, enter to a space, you look like there's nowhere else you'd rather be than right there. There's a quote from Bill Clinton, former US president. He says, when Bill Clinton listens to you, he can make you believe what he is saying is the most fascinating thing he's ever heard.
Wow.
Just get it through his face. And you can develop that. And I'm a behaviorist, so you can work on it. And it's important for leaders. Unfortunately, in the world I work in corporate Australia, there's a lot of leaders sucking energy from rooms. They're not giving. They're not giving with their face.
That's
so
really
yeah,
good inspiration. Wow. Don't suck the energy, but give.
Give the energy. Leadership is all about giving, even when you don't feel like giving. So if you're having a bad day, you've got to park that and just manufacture some energy, give to the team. Because, and I tell people, if you're not into giving, don't sign up for leadership. And I know you may have a lot of business owners, so you have to do that. I'm a business owner. I have a micro business. Yeah. So the next one is have simplicity and structure in delivery. If you give your messages in a structured way, you will increase people understanding you by 40%. So we work together, and I'm going to explain my open, middle, close speaking structure on a practical level. Open and middle, and I call this technique rambling prevention insurance.
Oh, right.
It helps you not ramble. And there's a lot of people that ramble when they speak and they have no idea where they're going. So open, middle, and close is a 3-part structure. Open and middle is a 2-part structure. Middle is a 1-part structure. So, for example, if you ask me, Michael, what do your customers like about you most? Utilizing that structure, I could say, sure, Joanna. Here's what they like about me. Number 1, the honest feedback couched in sensitivity. Number 2, long-term follow-up. Number 3, continual research into more powerful techniques to help them grow. That's what they like. So let me deconstruct that. When I said, let me tell you what they like, that was the open. 1, 2, 3 was the middle. Now, you don't have to bullet point the middle, but sometimes if you do, it helps you remember, helps the audience remember. And that's what they like was the close. 2-part structure is just the open and middle. You ask me the question, let me tell you 1, 2, 3. The litmus test for the close, if the audience doesn't know you're finished, you need to have a closing remark, because sometimes people stop speaking and the audience is looking like this. Are you finished? Because I couldn't pick it. 1-part structure is just the middle. You ask me the question, I could go 1, 2, 3. So it's a judgment call whether you use all 3 or 2 or 1, but you always know where you're going. So say you run a business and needed to engage one of your team members utilizing that structure, and say you reported to me, Joanna. Joanna, got a moment? That's the open. Middle could be, I need to send you an email about this because we need to do X before Y. Any questions? So thinking parts of all of that structure or interjecting in a meeting, you do it this way. Let me jump in here. My view is that we should do X, Y, and Z with P, Q, and R. That's my view. So that's just structure. That's my most powerful technique. If you put things in a structure, people remember it. You'll be perceived as more articulate.
Right, wonderful. Well, I see actually so many, but particularly in our industry, that because we're working with the virtual teams, for example, and
Yes.
communication with the team is often a barrier between the leaders, the
Yes.
business owner, and the team. So this is a great structure, right? Make the topic straightforward and give it 1, 2, 3 and close it off with
Yeah.
the expectation.
And it just makes it simpler, and it projects certainty.
Yeah.
As far as projecting energy and certainty, well, I'll just talk about it. Depending if we have time, I'll share another one. If you are perceived as rushing when you're speaking, that is junior behavior.
Oh.
If you're perceived as owning time when you're speaking, that's senior behavior. Even if you think you're not rushing, if it's perceived you're rushing, you're rushing. So one technique, as you've experienced with me, is using measuring cup speaking, and I'll use a prop to demonstrate it. Imagine there's measures on the side here. I have ideas in my head. I pop them in the cup. I speak that measure. I put the cup down. I pause. Then I put another measure in, speak that measure, put the cup down, pause. And when I pause, it's a silent pause gap.
Yeah.
There's no sound at all. So I utilize opening of a former US President Barack Obama speech to demonstrate this ideas in the cup. And he started the speech this way. Hello, Chicago. If there's anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy, tonight is your answer. So that's measuring cup speaking. The opposite of that is a water hose, just spraying people with your words metaphorically. If there's anyone out there still doubts America is all places, just spraying people and they're drowning them in your words. So the best speakers, you've got a lot of energy, energy measured. If you have too much energy, that is overwhelming. But if you have too much measure and you have no energy, that is boring. But if you measure your energy, that's engaging. And that's what the best speakers do. And your energy is more memorable than your words. Think of all the words you've said in the last 2 weeks. Your energy, for leaders particularly, is so important. What do you leave people with? This is a question for your listeners. When they are having interaction with a team member, does the team member feel energized or left flat?
That's true, eh? Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I didn't expect actually you sharing a lot of wisdom and tips like this, because literally it's the essence of the communication and being a leader. Well, you give us so much, in this short period of time. I think maybe a lot of people still can't really digest straight away because there's all the golden nuggets there. So is there any way that they can actually get in touch with you? How
Yeah.
can actually, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I should say as well, before we go on to that, the ideas may seem too simple to be effective. They're very powerful when well executed. Adapt the ideas, don't adopt them. And any new technique that I've just shared, practice first in a safe interaction because it's not grooved. So just practice first in a safe interaction. My offer to your listeners is the first 5 people that email me with the subject line complimentary 1-to-1, I'll give them a virtual 30-minute session on upgrading their impact. And my email is michael@michaelkelly.com.au, MICHAEL. So that's what I can offer, and they'll get in that 30 minutes, I will ask them if they want feedback from me, how I perceive them, and I might give them some ideas and identify 1 or 2 areas I think that they could improve based on my
Thank you so much. Wow, that's great offer. Oh my gosh, people, come on. If you like to improve your impact and influence, and I think Michael is a must-see person. And because I personally work with Michael a few times, so he always very willingly to help and give tips and really customize based on our situation because he can see who we are, where we are, what style we are. So yeah, so from whatever you said, I think that was so inspirational. So first of all, I think you mentioned leadership is attitude, isn't like the giving
energy. Yeah,
giving the energy,
giving.
Right? And then simple is the key, right? The less is more.
The less is more. Structure.
Yeah.
Be more measured. Realize what your face is signaling on entry, like you're radiating warmth and acceptance, like you want to be there. We underestimate it. You see people and they don't realize that their face is not signaling energy, particularly leaders, and it's unfortunate. So you can do this. They're behavioral skills you can develop. Obviously, it takes time.
Right. But to know about it, that's the first step, right?
Yes,
and also very important, as you mentioned, it's improve the engagement, is balance the rhythm and the energy, right? So like a
measured energy.
Yeah.
That's
right.
what measured energy.
Slow down and pause. I'll start to speak slowly now.
Well, the thing is, it's okay. It's not slowly, it's more measured. Just keep the energy measured. But you've got a lot of energy. You never want to lose your energy. That's really key. It's just, I think you're doing fine.
Oh, thank you. That's a great encouragement. Thank you so much, Michael. So everyone, and thank you so much for being with us, and thanks for your very gracious offer. And Thanksgiving Day, right? Today.
Yes, it is Thanksgiving Day.
All right, thank you again, Michael. And everyone, if you'd like to improve your impact and influence, talk to Michael, and he's really willingly to help over there. All right, we'll see you next episode. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Joanna. Thanks for the opportunity.